welcome back to Platt365. This is the season 2 closing episode.
Finally. We've said that I think 3 times, but we mean it this time.
This is it. We're starting season 3 on our next episode. We have come back to Clifton Park, upstate New York, to sell the house and all the possessions in it. It's taken us forever to do that, which is like, what, a month?
It's been a month.
It's been a month, but it feels like longer. So we are ready to hit the road. The place is a mess. We have moved everything that we want to keep out of the house and into the rig. The rig's been here for about a week in front of the house, right?
Yeah.
And I've had an opportunity to go through all the maintenance, preventative maintenance things that need to be done. Used a really cool app called ASANA. I can put it on my phone and it'll remind me, and I don't have to think about, oh, when do I do that? Because the matrix that they give you in the owner's manual is slightly confusing. So I went ahead and did all those things, from washing and waxing, and I will go ahead and I'm going to go through all of those things and show you all those things I did. So I'm going to try to get this all completed in one day. So I'm starting early. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning, and I've got a lot to do. I've got to get up on the roof and scrub it down. I've got to wax the rig. I've got to do a bunch of stuff. So I'll let you know what time it is as I get moving through this stuff, and hopefully I can get it all done in one day. So I'm starting on the roof. It's been 6 months and it's dirty. So I bought a product you can get at Walmart, and I'm going to spray it down. I'm going to scrub it. I'm just going to clean the roof, and I'm thinking it's going to make a big difference. I started at 7 o'clock, it's now 8 o'clock. So that took 1 hour, and the roof looks like it's brand new. This is every 6 months, definitely something to do, but it looks great. The product worked well. Take some elbow grease. 1 hour, it's 8 o'clock, on to the next. Total rookie mistake. Wash the roof first and then the outside of the rig. On my app on ASANA, the very first thing that needs to be done is clean burner tubes and vents. Never done that before, but I believe I just take apart the grill here on the outside and the burners on the inside, clean out the little tube holes, make sure that the propane can flow and work properly. First, I'm going to clean this mess off because that's gross. Take this off. There should be, I'm going to clean all that as well. But then maybe down below we can see it better. Yes, there. So you see there's the holes here. So I'm going to take this apart and clean it. I've taken this apart completely. The grill was right here. My goal was to clean this out, but the screws won't come undone. They're completely locked in there. I could spend some extra time getting that screw out, but I'm basically just going to clean this up, put it back together, because I've already spent too much time on it. I took the whole thing apart and was unable to get to the burner tube to clean that. It looked pretty good though. There was nothing blocked or caked on it, but I took the opportunity to take this apart and clean it out really good because it was pretty disgusting. Fortunately, Lisa keeps these very clean, so I don't need to clean anything. There's no food caked on there, so that's nice. So I checked the baggage doors. You can see here that water does get in to the just to this area, but it's not getting past this seal. So what I'm checking right now is to see if this water is getting past the seal, and it's not, so that's a good thing. Next thing I need to do is spray the tumblers with dry lube. I picked this up this morning at Walmart, and you just spray right in there. That way you know it's gonna open and close properly. Next thing on the list is to check and service the battery. When I parked this for the 3 weeks that we've been here, you know, selling the house, getting rid of everything, selling everything, going full time, I forgot to detach the battery. So don't ever do that. I ended up having to take the battery in and get it charged because it was toasty toast. Now, I'm fortunate that that worked. A lot of times that won't work, so you have to get a whole new battery. But I already took this battery's located right there. I took the battery out and it was checked and charged and it's good to go. And I remembered to detach the battery. So make sure if you're gonna let it sit for more than a couple days to switch the battery off. Next on the list is to check all GFI outlets. This is a GFI outlet here, and we're not hooked up to our battery right now, so I'll have to put this one off until we hook up the battery, and then I'll test that to make sure it works. Pretty sure it works, but it's good to test it every 6 months. Next on the list is to lube the hinges of the entry door with WD-40. So I'm gonna grab some WD-40 and I'll go ahead and hit that up with on the hinges. We did have a problem with our interior door squeaking into the pantry. That was super annoying, but now I'll just hit this up with a little WD-40. Okay, now we are going to, and this is something that needs to be done every single trip, once a week or every time you leave to go on a trip, is to check the egress window to make sure it works. It's a safety issue. So all that means is open it up, close it, make sure it works. Next, we have to use white lithium, the lithium spray, to lubricate the steps. We have 2 sets of steps, one that folds up inside the rig, and that one I'm not going to use this. I'm going to use this on these steps, and they have over the last 6 months kind of been more difficult to fold up, so I'm going to hit it with the lithium spray, and that should make it easier to fold up and put away. Next is the washing the whole rig. Now I had some of this car wash and it was fine. I did it yesterday so that I could kind of get a head start on this checklist. Took a little while, but then I had to redo it again. I think I mentioned, because I washed the roof after. So wash the roof first and then the car and then the rig, and you'll be good to go. Next we're gonna check all the seals, and I did this while I was washing the rig. Right down here, the sealant has come off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some mineral spirits to clean this up, and then I'm going to re-caulk that spot right there. This is mineral spirits that I'm going to use. As I'm cleaning this off with mineral spirits, it's actually removing a ton of it, so it's probably a good thing that I'm doing this. It's just coming right off. All right, that's now ready for a bead of caulk. All right, I've got 100% silicone that I'm going to put in here, and then I'm going to use a little bit of the mineral spirits to clean it up. Now I'm going to take this rag that has some mineral spirits on it, and I'm just going to make a nice little bead of caulk there. There we go, done. Next on the list of things to do is to check the plumbing hoses to make sure they're properly fit. We have 3 sinks here, so these look good, everything looks good. Just gonna go ahead and look, make sure that they look good, there's no leaks. Next is to check all the gaps and cracks on the roof to make sure that there's no places for water to penetrate. Roof looks good. All the seams look good. So I kind of checked that while I was washing the roof up here. So yeah, it looks good. No problems. Don't need to actually reseal anything. The next thing to check is the smoke detector. So I think if I push this, it works. I feel like I did this recently, but it's always good to be safe. Make sure that you have a new battery every 6 months in this thing, or it might be every once a year. The nice thing about ASANA is that I don't have to think about it. I put it in there once, whether it's every 6 months or every once a year. It'll pop up, and when it says put a new battery in, just put a new battery in. You basically want to make sure that the nozzle is clear and that when you press this green button, it comes back. So if you push it down and it doesn't pop back, it's time to replace your fire extinguisher. I will go around and apply slide out silicone lube. Next on the list is slide out. It's for these seals here to make sure that they don't get all like brittle and cracked. So you put this on and wipe it off. It's kind of a foamy product. A couple things just happened. Finished doing the seals around there. Found a couple more spots that I need to put sealant or silicone in. So I'm glad I found that, and I realized that my slides, I didn't lubricate all the slides. I found 2 slides I missed. Oh, and it's raining. So I bought the torque wrench, and now I need to get the actual size to fit on the lug nuts because it's not universal. There's different sizes. So going to go do that now, and hopefully that's the last thing I need to do to go before I can just put a coat of wax on the rig and be done with it. I think that's it. So I've been a little bit of a space cadet getting all this stuff done, but it will get done. It's the end of the day, and I have just completed the torque wrench test to make sure that the lug nuts are properly torqued onto the tire. So I purchased this. I found out it's about 100 pounds, and I went ahead and checked that to make sure it was good, and it is good. So I checked that off the list. The next thing, and probably the last thing I'm going to do today, I was trying to finish everything today, I just didn't get it all done, but the last thing I'm going to do is put a coat of spray paint where it's kind of rusted underneath. And then tomorrow all that will be left is waxing the rig. The last thing on the list, and I left this to last because it will take a while, is to wax the rig. I've never done this, so I did a lot of research. I looked at a lot of different products, and I went with a spray-on. I'd like to get like a telescoping extension pole to be able to apply it, but I'm going to use the truck as a scaffolding, if you will, so I can get up and do the top parts of the rig. All right, done.
I have been helping to repack the rig and pulling everything out of the house that we are keeping and taking with us. And so today, that's why it looks like a bomb went off in the kitchen, because I am repacking the kitchen. Because I had a couple things that I wanted to change around. I wanted to bring a few additional items from the house, and some things I never used. So making all of those adjustments and revisions, and we've been doing that throughout the whole rig while we've been here for this month.
Yes, the basement storage got completely redone, put in some shelving so that things can fit better. We noticed when we were taking stuff out of the basement that like everything was coming with it, and it was just a mess. So we've cleaned all that up, we're more organized, and we're ready for season 3. Season 3, the big reveal is we're gonna go to New England. We're gonna go see the New England states because we're basically here already. And then we're gonna head west. We're gonna go all the way across. We're gonna start West Virginia, then Kentucky, then some other states, and then Colorado. Colorado, I can't wait to see Colorado. And Utah, and
I hear Colorado looks a lot like Montana.
Yeah. Anyways, Utah has a ton of awesome stuff, and that should be our season 3, getting back to the West Coast, where we absolutely love Washington State. So that's our season 3 is going to start next week. The end of season 2 is the checklist, all the maintenance issues, packing everything up. We've had a blast on season 2. It was really just a big experiment on how to RV. We had no previous experience, and now I wouldn't say we're experts, but we know a little more than we did when we started, that's for sure.
I think we figured out quite a bit. We figured out enough that we're selling our house.
Going full-time.
And we will be full-time for a little while until we purchase land and build on it. For those who don't know, we're actually architects by profession, and designing and continuing to build and reevaluating how things work and how we function in spaces. It's kind of an occupational hazard. Can't get away from it.
Yeah, So we're excited to possibly design a home on some land out in Washington. But in the meantime, we're going to keep seeing national parks, go and see as many states as we can. So join us next week for season 3. Again, don't forget to subscribe.
Hit the bell.
Hit the bell, PLATT365. We're going to continue this adventure and move right on cross country, New England and going west.
Yep.
See you next week.
We'll see you then.